Sirianni sparks controversy with fans after Eagles' narrow win over Browns. In a hard-fought but messy 20-16 victory against the Cleveland Browns, Eagles head coach Nick Sirianni found himself in hot water after engaging in a heated exchange with fans as the game neared its conclusion. Key moments. A tense atmosphere. The Eagles struggled to get into a rhythm early, resulting in boos from the home crowd. Despite the win, the fans expressed their frustration with the team's performance, particularly during the tied first half, 10-10, and a baffling timeout decision that led to a blocked field goal return for a Browns touchdown. Sirianni's outburst. In a moment that many are calling inappropriate, Sirianni decided to respond to the fans during the victory formation, which he later described as having fun. His comments suggested a disregard for the discontent expressed by the Eagles supporters, who had chanted, "Fire Nick," at halftime. Player support. Despite the growing fan unrest, several players rallied behind their coach. A.J. Brown emphasized his focus on the game rather than the crowd's reactions. Jalen Hurts echoed this sentiment, affirming the team's trust in Sirianni and the need for unity moving forward. Sirianni's missteps. Criticism intensified over Sirianni's decision-making, particularly his choice to call a pass on a crucial 3rd and 1 instead of running the ball, leading to a sack and a missed field goal opportunity. This strategic blunder has further fueled the fire among dissatisfied fans. The aftermath. While the Eagles escaped with a win, Sirianni's behavior and decision-making have raised concerns. Engaging in disputes with the passionate Philadelphia fanbase is risky territory, and his attempt to celebrate the victory came off as tone-deaf given the circumstances. Looking forward, the Eagles, 3-2, are left with questions about their performance and the team's trajectory as they prepare for upcoming challenges. Sirianni needs to address the growing discontent among fans while maintaining the trust of his players. The road ahead may prove to be a test of his leadership and decision-making skills. In a city where expectations are high, Sirianni's antics could have lasting repercussions on his relationship with both the fans and the franchise's success. Titans' Calvin Ridley voices frustration as will Levi's struggles in close loss to Colts. Calvin Ridley has hit a breaking point after the Tennessee Titans' narrow 20-17 defeat to the Indianapolis Colts. The star wide receiver expressed his frustration after failing to register a single catch, despite being targeted 8 times, primarily in the fourth quarter. His only contribution was a 9-yard end-around carry, which only added to his annoyance. Ridley's outburst. Ridley didn't hold back in his post-game comments, emphasizing the need for more involvement earlier in the game. "I need some of them in the beginning of the F-ing game, too," he said. "Shit's getting F-ing crazy for me. It is what it is. I sucked today. I gotta do better. But I gotta get the ball a little earlier in the game so I can be in the game so I can play well." Also, his frustration highlights the ongoing challenges the Titans face as they sit at 1-4 this season. Levi's continued struggles. The spotlight is firmly on quarterback Will Levis, whose performance was again underwhelming. He completed just 16 of 27 passes for 95 yards, throwing another interception, his 5th consecutive game with a pick, tying him with Patrick Mahomes for the longest streak in the NFL. Unlike Mahomes, Levi's has struggled to compensate for his errors with big plays. Levi's difficulties overshadowed a strong defensive showing from the Titans and a solid outing from running back Tony Pollard, who rushed for 93 yards and a touchdown. However, the lack of offensive production from the quarterback position has been a persistent issue. The future for Levi's. With Levi's struggles continuing, questions arise about his future as the Titans' starting quarterback. Coach Brian Callahan may consider a switch to veteran Mason Rudolph, who performed well in a previous win over Miami. For now, though, Levi's remains the starter, and Ridley, along with the rest of the team, must find ways to adapt and improve moving forward. As the Titans look to turn their season around, the relationship between Levi's and his receiving core, especially Ridley, will be crucial in determining their success. Justin Fields leads Steelers past Raiders. Why Pittsburgh should stick with him at QB. Justin Fields delivered a solid performance on Sunday, guiding the Pittsburgh Steelers to a 32-13 victory over the Las Vegas Raiders. While he wasn't perfect, Fields showcased efficiency and the ability to manage the game. leading the Steelers to their 4th win of the season and effectively quelling any discussions about a potential quarterback change. Fields' impact on the game. Fields' contribution was significant as he recorded 2 rushing touchdowns and made crucial throws without turning the ball over. The Steelers' offense thrived, amassing a season-high 32 points and dominating the ground game with 174 rushing yards. Led by Najee Harris, who racked up 106 yards and a score on just 14 carries. Pittsburgh returned to its formula for success, a strong run game, timely passing, and a relentless defense that leads the league in forcing turnovers in the red zone. Fields not only managed the offense well but also played a pivotal role in executing the game plan effectively. Defense and special teams shine. The Steelers' defense was instrumental, forcing 3 turnovers, including a critical forced fumble by T.J. Watt just as the Raiders were threatening to score. The offense capitalized on these opportunities, scoring 14 points off turnovers. Additionally, a blocked punt by linebacker Jeremiah Moon provided further momentum, leading to a Chris Boswell field goal. Stability in the QB position. Despite Russell Wilson being promoted to the number 2 spot on the depth chart and eager to make his debut after a calf injury, the Steelers should resist any temptation to change quarterbacks for now. Fields has demonstrated that he can lead the team effectively, and his mobility adds a vital dimension to the offense, especially given the injuries on the offensive line. Fields is also emerging as a respected leader within the locker room, gaining the trust of his teammates, including those on the defensive side. His growth in this role should not be overlooked, as strong leadership is crucial for any team's success. Looking ahead, as the Steelers prepare for their next matchup against the Jets, maintaining continuity at quarterback will be essential. Fields has found his rhythm in this offense, and with each game, the Steelers are building a strong identity centered around his abilities. For the time being, Pittsburgh should focus on developing its offense further under Fields' guidance, allowing him to continue growing as a player and a leader. The Steelers have a winning formula in place, one they should stick with as they aim for continued success in the season ahead. Bears vs. Jaguars. Chicago secures 35-16 win behind Caleb Williams' 4 touchdowns. The Chicago Bears improved to 4-2 this season, led by rookie quarterback Caleb Williams, who threw 4 touchdowns in a 35-16 victory over the Jacksonville Jaguars in London. This marked Williams' first international win and made him the first Bears rookie with 4 or more passing touchdowns in a game since 1999. Game summary. Chicago's offense had a slow start, failing to score in the first quarter. However, Williams ignited the team in the second quarter, connecting with tight end Cole Kmet for 2 touchdowns before halftime. In the second half, he added 2 more touchdowns to veteran receiver Keenan Allen, showcasing his growing rapport with key targets. The Bears' defense also played a crucial role, limiting the Jaguars after their initial field goal and forcing multiple turnovers, which ultimately stifled Jacksonville's offensive rhythm. Key performances. Caleb Williams completed 23 of 29 passes for 226 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 1 interception. He also rushed for 56 yards, demonstrating both his arm and mobility. Cole Kmet caught 2 touchdown passes, contributing significantly to Williams' success. Keenan Allen secured 2 touchdown receptions, adding a veteran presence to the Bears' offense. Trevor Lawrence, for the Jaguars, completed 23 of 35 passes for 234 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception, but struggled with consistency throughout the game. Why the Bears won? The Bears found their rhythm in the second quarter, with Williams hitting his stride. The offense capitalized on defensive turnovers, scoring touchdowns off 2 Jaguars' mistakes. Despite an early interception, Chicago's defense consistently bailed out the offense, forcing Jacksonville into 3-and-outs when needed. This complementary football was key to their success. Why the Jaguars lost? Jacksonville's offense struggled to establish a rhythm, settling for a field goal on their opening drive after reaching the Bears' 8-yard line. Missed opportunities, drops, and penalties plagued their offense throughout the game. Turnovers in the second half, including a fumble by Evan Engram and an interception by Lawrence, resulted in points for Chicago and ultimately sealed the Jaguars' fate. Turning point. The Jaguars had a chance to build momentum after scoring a touchdown but failed to stop the Bears on a critical drive. Several penalties, including too many men on the field, and defensive holding calls, kept the Bears' drive alive. Williams capitalized on these opportunities, eventually connecting with Allen for a touchdown that extended the lead and deflated Jacksonville's hopes. Play of the game. One standout moment for Williams was a perfectly placed back shoulder throw to Keenan Allen at the start of the third quarter. This play highlighted Williams's potential and showcased his ability to make high-level throws. What's next? The Bears will enjoy a bye week in Week 7 before a 2-game road trip, starting with a game against Washington in Week 8. Meanwhile, the Jaguars, now 1-5, will remain in London to face the New England Patriots next week. Eagles vs. Browns. Philadelphia grinds out 20-16 win. The Philadelphia Eagles secured a hard-fought 20-16 victory over the Cleveland Browns in Week 6. Despite the unpolished performance, the win improved the Eagles' record to 3-2, showcasing key contributions from Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown. Here's a closer look at the observations from the game. First quarter highlights. Jalen Hurts targeted A.J. Brown early, but struggled to connect, starting 0 for 2 as the Eagles went 3-and-out on their opening drive. The Eagles' defense forced a quick 3-and-out, with Moro Ojomo breaking up a pass intended for Amari Cooper. Cleveland's offensive line issues became apparent as backup center Nick Harris exited with an injury. Philadelphia finally gained momentum with a tush-push for their initial first down, though they remained scoreless in the first quarter, the only team in the NFL without a point in that frame. Second quarter developments. Hurts opened the quarter with an incomplete pass to Brown, who was visibly shaking off rust from his injury absence. The Eagles managed a long 14-play drive, culminating in a 49-yard field goal by Jake Elliott for a 3-0 lead. A significant moment came when Hurts connected with Grant Calcaterra for a 34-yard gain, showcasing depth at tight end with Dallas Goedert sidelined. Hurts then threw a beautiful 22-yard touchdown to A.J. Brown, who had 2 catches for 38 yards on the drive, putting Philadelphia up 10-0. Cleveland's defense turned a blocked 56-yard field goal attempt into a touchdown return by Rodney McLeod, tying the game at 10-10 despite the Eagles' dominance in yardage. Third quarter action. Dustin Hopkins kicked a 52-yard field goal to give the Browns a brief lead before Hurts responded with a 49-yard field goal to regain the advantage at 13-10. Philadelphia's defensive front applied pressure throughout the game, with Josh Sweat recording a sack as Watson struggled to find rhythm. The Eagles maintained their slight edge, but offensive inconsistencies persisted. Fourth quarter drama. The Browns executed a long, methodical drive, capped by a field goal to tie the game at 13-13. Despite their struggles to move the ball effectively, a critical touchdown came when Hurts found Devonta Smith on a well-executed pick play for a 45-yard score, putting the Eagles up 20-13. The Browns managed to drive down the field again, but C.J. Gardner-Johnson made a key breakup, forcing a field goal that narrowed the score to 20-16. The decision to kick a field goal instead of going for a touchdown on fourth down raised questions about Cleveland's offensive strategy. Closing moments. Hurts sealed the victory with a crucial first down run and a deep completion to A.J. Brown, who finished with 6 catches for 116 yards and a touchdown in his return. The Eagles successfully managed the clock, allowing them to emerge victorious in a gritty matchup. Key takeaways. Offensive struggles. While Hurts didn't turn the ball over, the offense lacked explosiveness and consistency, particularly in the early stages. Defensive resilience. The Eagles' defense effectively pressured Watson, forcing him into mistakes and limiting the Browns' scoring opportunities. A.J. Brown's impact. His return added a much-needed spark to the offense, reinforcing his status as a vital player for the Eagles. What's next? The Eagles will look to build on this win in their upcoming matchups, aiming to improve their offensive efficiency while maintaining strong defensive performances. The Browns, now facing challenges of their own, will need to address their offensive issues to turn their season around.